What is up, y'all? Today's video is featuring Fart by Ryan O and Ripe Selects. So check out these links to go follow them and check out what they have in store. Also, the Riplack Entertainment online merch store is coming online at riplack.com 2023. Enjoy the video.
Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy, too bold for the school, still a B-boy, east coast to the west, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
What is up, y'all? It is Riplack, and I am jumping in for Riplack Entertainment on the Still a B-Boy podcast. And today we have CHIsongwriter in the building. How are you feeling today?
Yo, I'm good, man. Appreciate you having me.
So what got you into making music in the very beginning?
Um, Honestly, kind of just like listening to aging myself, but cassette tapes of like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, and kind of really inspired me to want to try. Um, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like it was meant to be kind of thing. I just always enjoyed music and loved it, and I just started writing when I was really young and started recording when I got a little bit into my teenage years, and then I'm here today, kind of getting to write for people, writing myself, and touring and making music all over the U.S. So it's pretty dope.
Oh yeah. Um, so when you started writing, was it kind of like I started writing when I was little too. I was writing like short stories and turned into poetry type stuff. What do you start writing at?
I think it was. I mean, really, the first things I was writing were raps for sure. And I remember like trying to record them on like an audio recorder on my computer, like horribly. Like played the song and played the beat in the background and just like rapped over the beat and was like, "Damn, this sounds horrible. Why does it sound like this?" I didn't know what I was doing. I was a kid, and I did used to write like I remember writing like a poem to like a girl I really liked, and she never. I got made fun of for a long time for that. I remember that. I forgot. Like I was like young. I was in like fifth grade, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of started with raps and a little bit of poetry, but I didn't get back into poetry until my college days.
Yeah, yeah. Was that kind of therapeutic to you? Just like writing? Did it help you get through times and everything like that?
As a kid, I don't think I didn't consciously think about it. I just a creative kid, I just like
Mhm.
being creative, and really that's just what it was. Um, I remember playing like I remember being a kid and playing with my toys and just like creating these different little like groups and just creating these different like almost playing like I don't even want to say like creating these fantasy worlds almost with them, but I would do a lot more like fighting because it'd be more like wrestling. And so
Nah.
everybody would be like in their own little like factions, or they'd be into like solo wrestlers. So it was like kind of modeled after WWE, really, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Speaking of wrestling, we have a show coming up too with it's it's Isaiah Rage, but it's really Glow.
Oh
So
yeah.
um that B Henshaw show we got coming up, it's October 22nd at Ribco. And
Yes.
I see I see you've been doing a lot of touring and just all kinds of things, acting, and we can get into that a little bit too. Um, how long have you been doing live shows for? Just
Like
performing?
just
Yeah.
performing wise, over 10 years. Yeah, over 10 years. I was in high school, kind of like, um, we had some songs out and they hit pretty well on MySpace and stuff.
Uh,
So we would do shows, and I remember us having like our first show, and we had like 200 people there. It was insane.
all right,
Just like 15, 16 years old, I believe. It was insane.
that's big.
So that was, yeah.
Mhm. So it's just kind of yours, kind of natural at it, huh? Because I see you get hype on stage and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy performing, and I feel like I'm blessed to have a natural um, ability to do it. You know, I always can be better, but I do feel like I have a natural ability of it. So yeah,
So is your favorite place the stage or the booth?
the stage,
Yeah, same.
the stage for sure.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was performing for a long time, and man, that was a whole different feeling up there. The more people, the better, you know, just
Hmm.
off the energy and getting to meet fans and all that. I want to know too, in your music, who's your I got two. I got a follow up. That's I think is even more important. But who is your biggest inspiration music wise as far as like artist?
It would be Lil Wayne for sure. He'd be my number one, just because, like I said, uh, with him being so clever, it just made me want to like I wanted to be clever, and I was like, that's what I looked up to. So I really focused on like those bar to bar to bar, like the writing style. So I wanted my verses to just be like, dang, he said that, and then he said that, and then he said that. So like that was my really early inspiration. I don't take into that as much now. I think I'm just more trying to tell stories and tell my story and just have a good time and enjoy life. You know what I mean? So it's a little different now.
Yeah, did you like that old Wayne, like that old school, like Hot Boys and all that stuff?
I think the yeah, I love that Wayne, but I think the Wayne that really, of course, grabbed me is the Carter, and like then getting into the No Ceilings days and dedication, you know, all those different avenues really was more. I think they got me just because he started getting real into those. Like I think he was more of I feel like he was more of a storyteller earlier, and then it kind of like you'll catch songs like some of them like later songs like a Mona Lisa or something like that where you can really hear him like telling stories and a reminder if he does that. But also like um I really love just like the bar for bar stuff too. So I think really, I guess now I'm thinking about it and speaking on it, he really kind of inspires me all around because he is a storyteller too, and he never like he had a whole rock album, so he didn't let people box him in. He just is who he is. So
Well, the biggest thing I respect out of Lil Wayne that when people talk about him don't even bring up really is he was always putting out music for his fans, always like mixed
mhm.
everything. And you gotta respect that. And honestly, Bling Bling came on earlier today. People didn't know what the fuck was going on at work, but
Oh man,
I got younger people around me. They're like, "What's he listening to?" Like, come on, man. All
I
the Cash Money stuff.
haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah. Um, so the follow-up question though is who in your like personal life inspired you kind of to just even to your work ethic or anything like with music?
With music, um, in my personal life, I don't really. I don't know if I would say inspired me. I don't really know if I have anybody like in my personal life that necessarily inspired me to have a work ethic. I think that my older brother, he was always playing music around me. My mom was always like dancing and singing around the house and stuff like cleaning up. So I feel like that plays a part in the just like being involved in like it being around me. Um, but I don't know if I could say I had like a full inspiration personally to like make me go do it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I was just wondering if there was any like certain person, and no big deal either way, but um how many projects have you released?
To this date, oh man, I think we released oh man, let me think about it really quick. So I think in high school I put out like one like little like a CD and we were passing it out. I remember doing that. And then uh in college I had I had a mixtape series called Poetic Thoughts in a Musical Mind. And I think I did 2 volumes of that. I had a project called God Life. Um, and then that was another CD. Then I had like an entertainment group, so we had was like 5 of us, and we ended up doing a project together called Appreciation. So there's that one, and then I'm trying to think. Me and my homie D Web have made a project, and I don't. That name is literally slipping my mind right now. But we did a project, man. So that was like, what is that, 5 or 6 right there? And then I think as far as on the streaming days and everything that's online, I believe I have 5 EPs out now. And then I'll have a 6th one out. And that number could be off, so don't give me like, don't quote me exactly on that number. But I think the 6th one will be out. It'll be on Halloween. On Halloween. On Halloween.
uh,
So yeah, so I'll put out a good amount.
yeah. Out of all of that though, as a writer, what is your favorite song? Like the favorite one you've ever written? I have one, but honestly, because it's so personal, if that one was out of the way, it might take me a minute to answer that because I
Mm-hmm.
wrote so much too. But do you know one that you just always like stands out to you as far as your favorite written song?
Uh, that is a hard one. That's a good question. Um, Trying to think of one. I have this one song called "Run the Country," and I just really liked like the idea behind it because it was really about like making money, but like not letting him, basically like make the money, but don't let it make you. You know what I mean? Don't like go get it, but don't become a slave to the money type of thing. So I thought that was a really interesting way that I wrote it. So I think that's one of my favorites, but it's just really hard to. I have so many songs that I've done, so it's kind of hard to say which one's my favorite for real. For real,
Yeah, yeah. I know it would be tough for me, but man,
that's a tough one.
I made one for my mom that passed away, but it was about like forgiveness, and it kind of like showed my maturity through the years because of
Hmm.
how it happened. I was angry, and then like as I listened to all my albums, it progressed away from anger into this final song that was about forgiveness. My friend made the song, the beat for me. I was like,
Hmm.
man, it's gonna take me a while to catch up with this beat and make it perfect. But no, I sat down and just wrote right through it. It was like the best
Nice.
ever written. But um, so have you started the tour with B Henshaw yet?
We start on the 16th.
Have you
So
seen him live?
I've actually never met him in person.
Okay.
So this would be our we talk actually a lot now. We are building a good I would actually say a friendship. He's a really cool dude. Um, so we just really just been building and talking about the tour and kind of just preparing for what's about to be coming. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, so we'll be both experiencing each other in real life. As far as like how we perform and just like just getting everyone getting cool and stuff like
Mhm.
for the first time. So I've never met any of these, any of the people that's on this tour with me. We've just been working outside of like my one of my partners is my booking agent, which is Good Vibes in my, and then I know Our Dreams, but the DJ and we'll have a photographer and of course B Henshaw. I've never met them in person, but it's kind of funny because when it all came together, B was like, "Yeah, I have a DJ I want to bring," and I was like, "Okay, however you want to do it." And then he tells me the DJ, and then the DJ's manager is actually my graphic guy and one of the producers I've worked with for years. So it was just kind of funny how the world aligned. You know what I mean? Because like he didn't know I even knew the Skyview, who is the manager. He even like V Henshaw didn't know I knew Skyview. So it's kind of funny how small the world is with them being from Pittsburgh and me being from Illinois, being from Peoria and Chicago and stuff. So like it's just funny.
Yeah, that's wild. It gets smaller and smaller, it seems like the longer I do this.
Hmm.
And even just like people and then people that happens a lot too. I'll book people and I'll have people from out of state being like they know them and shit. But yeah, you do this long enough. What is what it like tell me a little bit because I've seen you post stuff about your acting. So tell me a little bit about that.
Uh, yeah. So I actually started getting into acting just kind of not I don't want to say randomly, but kind of randomly, and I ended up doing a web series called Jihad Beach, and I did a couple of episodes on there, and it was like really like my first time like actually trying out like trying to be on a show or something, you know what I mean? And it worked out well, so I was just kind of started taking it from there. Um, and really ended up doing a lot of like a few short films. Kind of did some like background work on some bigger TV shows, um, which was really cool. Just experiencing sets and just being on like the Hollywood version of everything. These big budget TV shows, you know what I mean? Um, but when I first got into acting, I realized I've been acting my whole like life in reality, especially being in the music industry because one, when you do music videos, you got to kind of portray a character, even if it's yourself, but you still have to be able to know how to be on camera, right?
Mm.
Um, and then also when you are rapping and you're performing your songs, you have to perform it like it's still levels of acting, like a voice, almost like a voice acting type of vibe, right? So I didn't realize all that until I started getting into acting for real and really kind of seeing where the parallels were. So they kind of all go hand in hand, just the art of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool though. I always thought acting would be cool, and it's one of those things that like I know a lot of people like me think like I could act, but I know there's a lot more to it. I know it's a lot harder than it looks, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when I get in front of the camera like this, like I feel different, and then I'm like, you know, I don't know if it's self-conscious or what, but I would love to try it. But I mean, that's a whole other thing. I'm way beyond that in my life, I think. But
I respect it.
I mean, I would, but I mean, that's cool though. So what is like, do you have like an ultimate goal for all this, like art and music and any of
I,
it?
I honestly learned that really my goal was to be able to do it full time, and kind of blessed to be in that position right now. So I've hit that first goal to kind of do it full time, and I think that the next goal is to do it comfortably. Where it's not necessarily where you have to like there's you're not living check to check in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's I feel like I'm not too far away from that if I do well. Excuse me, where I can just be kind of like comfortable and people really respect what I do to the point where they have no issues when they spend money on whether it's my product or my services. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I went to school for marketing, so communication and marketing and focusing in that, and um, marketing gives me a lot of lets me get a lot of my creative juices out as well. So that's just another format. So my whole goal overall is to be able to just be creative 24/7 and make make a living off of that. And that's I'm in the space where I'm decent, I'm good, but like I'm not where I need to be. So full time with not too many like financial stresses.
Right. And that's the other part I'm gonna guess I'm hearing out of this is that you don't want to make what you love like as a job, you don't want to lose the passion or anything like that with it. And I don't know, I know that's not probably exactly what you're saying, but that's some stuff where like that's what I worry more about when I do this full time, that I don't want to turn it into something I hate. Because then I know this isn't what you're saying, but there's times I get stressed out working with certain people in the music industry, and it feels like it'll all happen at once, into where I'm like miserable and I'm stressing and I don't catch it. Someone else will catch it. And then I have to realize who I have to like cut out and like, you know, move things around where I'm not hating my passion.
Yeah.
That's my comfort level that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that there's a lot of stress in the music industry regardless. There's a lot of stress at your regular everyday job too. So, I'd rather stress over this than stress at a job I don't like. You know what I mean? Like and I want to blame it on my ADHD, but it's just the way my brain works. That's why I do so many different creative things. So it does help me where I'm not stuck in one lane. Where if I'm bored with acting, I can go and rap. If I'm bored with rapping, I can go and do a marketing campaign for somebody. If I'm bored with that, I can focus on my clothing. Like I can, so it's like kind of that's just kind of like just how my brain works. And I decided to not be afraid to like just let my brain be my brain.
That's the other good thing about the entertainment business is that you can jump around and do different things. You don't get bored, and
Yeah, especially if you have the talent for it, or at least have like and I think a lot of things do cross over. So
yeah, I get it. Like there's stress in your day-to-day job, and you made a really good point. You'd rather stress doing what you love, than doing something you don't, which I do love my day job. Obviously, ultimately, I want to do, the entertainment business and music and whatnot. But um, the reason the stress kills me more in this is because I'm passionate about it, so it hits me harder. But
mhm.
you have to have tough skin, and I've been in it long enough that this is not for the weak, and you've made it this far, and that shows, that should show everybody that you're tough.
I
It's
appreciate
not
that.
you put yourself out there. Your art, it comes from your heart and whatever else, and that you really, you have to put yourself out there, and it's good people are liking you, and I've seen your crowds. I can't wait to see you live.
It's gonna
Um,
be fun.
yeah,
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
fun.
good show.
I'm
And
debating on what I'm so like. I don't know how I want to come at it because I have a couple of different versions of me that I want to show. I'm deciding if like as far as like either they're gonna be hype, but it's like two levels of hype. There's like a party, having like a really just like fun kind of like party vibes, and there's like raging and kind of getting that out, just getting out like that getting it all out there and just letting it all out. You know what I mean? So I'm just debating on which level I'm gonna give every show. You know what I mean? Kind of based off of like the crowd and the energy that's already kind of given that I'm seeing. You know what I mean?
so speaking of hyped crowds, like what show was your most hype? Were the fans just the best? Do you
Overall,
have
ever,
one? Yeah.
uh, I would have to have a top five with no order, because it's kind of hard because they all came from different lanes. I think I opened for MGK at Canopy Club um, some years back, and that crowd was nuts. But that's just like, I was giving the same energy as MGK, and like we were giving that same energy, so it was like, hey, we rock with y'all. Um, plus whatever fans we may have had in the crowd. I recently opened up for BB No Money. That crowd was really cool. They gave a lot of great energy. So that was also ironically at U of I. So that was also in Urbana. So that was kind of, maybe it's just that crowd there. Um, and then I have to go back to like some of my high school days of definitely like when we had our first, dang, I forgot. I had some yeah, so the high school days, and we had like 200-300 people just show up to see us specifically. It was no other artists performing like that. It was just they came to see us. And I was in my hometown, Peoria. And then another crowd, we used to perform at this little nightclub at our college, at Monmouth College. And like we brought 200-300 people out to that. And that was like an amazing crowd too. But they all came for us. So those were like 4 shows. I don't know if I have a fifth one or not. Yeah, I think that those 4 would probably be like I would battle between for number one because they all have their own elements and in different times of my career as well. Like from being in high school, having that like raw, just like these people come to see me, to college, they just came to see like me, or we, I should say, me and my people. And then going into the next level of being out of school and just opening for a bigger act like MGK. And then not too long ago, same thing with BB No Money, which was only like earlier this year. Was it this year? Yeah, earlier this year. So 4 different levels of my career, but experiencing these crowds of 2, 3, 4, 500 people, you know, and just giving off great energy. So those are, yeah.
Hopefully you can snag up a few more like those on your list on this tour.
That would be amazing. That would definitely be great.
Try to get that thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any big news or updates you want to hit anybody with before we finish this?
So yeah, I got a new song out called "This That" with my homie Skyview from Pittsburgh. So that just came out. We're on the tour now. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be hitting these 10 cities of or 9 cities now, but it'll be Fort Wayne. We're coming to Rock Island for sure. You know what I mean? We'll have Iowa City, Liberty, Missouri, Denver, Colorado Springs, Urbana, Illinois, and I think that is every one of them. I might be missing 1 or 2, so don't judge me there. But we got those, and then on Halloween I'll be dropping Mosh Pit Music, my EP. So that'll be, and I'll performing a couple songs from that, just to test the crowd out and see what they like before the project drops. So yeah, that's what's going on this way.
Where are you guys going in Iowa City?
We'll be at Gabe's in Iowa City.
Have you been there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I love Gabe's. I did a show with Dizzy right there. Then my usual DJ, he DJ'd there too. So we've been there a few times.
Nice. And then you'll be coming to Ribco in Rock Island October 22nd on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hit the flyer at the end of this interview too. And
yes, sir.
I will see you soon, and good luck with everything. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you having me. Make sure everybody who's watching follow me on social media or stream my music on all platforms. CHIsongwriter, no space. Simple as that. You can find it on both. Appreciate you.
All right, cool. Have a good one.
All right, you too, boss.
All right.